record. And yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the second episode of Check Your Mental. I'm Jeff, and I'm joined by OverLade. So, Lade, talk talk to
Hey,
us about yourself.
hey, what's going on, you guys? I'm Overloading. Nice to meet you.
All right. Where can the people find you?
People find me. Oh, well, I guess on social media, I have a couple different pages. My Twitter, Overloaded with a zero. I run a handful of different pages. I guess SB Pro Tips would be one of them. The Twitter currently isn't super active. I also do have a YouTube. I believe it's at SB Pro Tips. And I also have a SoundCloud if you're interested in that. So,
SoundCloud. I didn't know about that one. Might have to check that
oh,
one
well,
out later.
maybe not everyone does, but
All right. Well, no, for sure. Thanks for being on the show. Always. You
yep.
are what I'd say is a beacon of the Tampa Smash community, and
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, something like that. You've been near the top of the rankings for years now, and let me just ask you, when did it all start?
Well, it would have been back in 2008. I'm a Brawl generation kid. So
Mm,
basically, like, there's sort of waves in which people come into the Smash community. Like, usually when a new Smash game comes out, it's one thing. But some things like the Melee documentary exposed a lot of people, and there was like a big, wave of people that played Smash after that. So I'm a Brawl generation kid. Obviously, I've always been a huge Smash player. Casually with my friends, I was always the best kid on the block. For a really long time, and like 64 in Melee, like every birthday party, I would beat everyone, like that kind of thing. But when Brawl came out, that's when I was exposed to the idea that okay, no, I discovered there was a competitive community. It was online, maybe in like 2007. I was looking up how to get a trophy or something for Melee because I was trying to 100% the game, and that's when I was exposed to the competitive community. But what I learned is, oh, there's all this tech in the game like wave dashing and stuff. But the new game Brawl is coming out, and we've already found out it's not going to have those things. So I basically made the decision that I'm not going to learn how to play Melee because Brawl is about to come out anyway. And eventually there was a tournament called Fast One, which was a Florida Awesome Summer tournament. I think that was 2009, and no, that was 2008. That was my first tournament, and it was really cool because it was the biggest brawl tournament so far. It was 100 like 52 entrants, and I got 13th in my first tournament, so that was cool. And Mewtwo King won. Reflex got second, so it was like a tournament where a lot of the heavy hitters that already existed were already there. So that was kind of like a really cool way into the scene. I was competing online before that. I was on this website called Brawl Central, and I got second at two of their tournaments, and that was kind of the way that I handled. I guess that was the way I kind of got into the competitive spirit by competing online. I was a Wi-Fi player, and then eventually I came on offline and did pretty well. And then eventually, I got to the point I was ranked second in Florida in Brawl, and obviously I've been competing since then. Every other Smash game, I played Melee, I played 64, I played Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So yeah, just like I've been around, I've been doing a lot of competitive games.
All right. That's cool. That's cool. Glad to hear it. Now, recently, being a part of the Tampa community myself, I know that you've been trying to reach out, improve the new generation of Smash players. Like, what's that experience been like?
Okay, so just little known fact. Well, maybe it's not little known, but I've actually been training players since like 2011. The short story is when I came out, Tampa was kind of known as like a joke region. CFL and South Florida have always been really well established regions because they had huge melee scenes that carried over into Brawl. So a lot of their new gen Brawl players were taught by melee players who were playing Brawl at the beginning in the first place. So South Florida taught by like Lamb Chops. CFL had just all sorts of people. Obviously, Hungry Box was like a newer kid, but he was a melee player. You had like QDVS and like XYZ and like people like and Hung Harriet the guy, like people like that. So the point is, Tampa didn't have that same level of established base. And the point is, whenever it came to results at like anything with multiple regions at it, Tampa wasn't placing at anything. We weren't getting top 8. We weren't getting top 10. So the point is, when I came out, I was kind of the first breakout player from Tampa, and that regional pride was a lot more important back then than it is now. And me wanting my region to be a lot stronger is why I sort of developed the nature of training people in the first place. And yeah, I actually had a handful of students from Brawl most of which quit, when Smash 4 came out, unfortunately. But one of my students, Lies, who I taught, he was a Wario player. At Apex 2014, which was like the last big brawl tournament we all went to, he made it out of pools. He beat Master Raven in losers. He took a game off Z, who was number one in Nevada, and I think he got like maybe like 60, right at 65th or something. But the point is, like, I've been training people for a long time, and I guess just this effort to train people was first off, it was a result of like people in Tampa being really negative about how good the region was, saying like, "Oh, Fuse, Vinny G quit, J12 quit, Radia's not coming out, we suck now." It was that, and then it was also me wanting to actually make a real effort to train people, and not just like teaching people like as they come over, actually developing a guide that would make anybody good. Because I've always been obsessed with the idea of like what separates top players from regular players, or why do some people stay bad forever, like that kind of thing. So it was really designed like, if I was to teach somebody that knew absolutely nothing about Smash, or I couldn't predict how much they knew, what would I teach them? And that's basically what the guide's been focused on.
Okay, okay, okay. Glad to hear it. Now this might be an interesting question. You
Okay,
don't
sure,
have to
let's do
answer
it.
that deeply if you want to. But who's one of your favorite students?
Well, I only care about results. So whoever's winning that week is obviously my favorite students. Um, in terms of results, obviously, there's a lot of players that I've trained. First off, Lies, the brawl player that I taught. Shout out to James. None of you guys know him, but that's my goat. So there's him. And the recent generation of people I've trained, a lot of people have had good success. Mika. I think he was kind of the first breakout success when it came to students. And while he hasn't been competing lately, I think he accomplished a lot. And I didn't go into that situation thinking like this guy's like the next goat. This guy's going to get a win on every single ranked player except for Fusix. Like that wasn't what the plan was. So the fact that he proved that the guide itself worked, that by itself means a lot to me personally, and that's something I'm always thankful for because it kind of like kept me motivated for to keep doing it. Obviously these days, Lipton is doing really well. Viniki is doing really well. Other players I've taught have also had like good results as well. But the point is, I like whoever's winning right now as of like last tournament. That's my rule.
Okay, okay. Very much stay in the moment.
Yeah, it's all that matters.
All right. None but respect for that, man. None but respect. Although it can be a little funny, a little funny
What
to
have you
poke
done for
fun
me lately?
at. That's really the world we live in. But anyways, another thing that you're like pretty well known for is you've recently like not I would say recently, but like as of like last year, you started putting more focus on like your physical health, right? And
Well,
you've also
I have been for a
yeah,
while now,
yeah, no.
but
Yeah, I guess I'd say you more publicly like made it known that you're putting more focus on your physical health, and along with that, you've also talked a lot about how like feeling poor like during the day has made you like perform poorly. So like, can you go more into that, like how like your physical goes into your gameplay?
well, sure. So first, right off the bat, I'm someone that experienced health problems around my mid 20s. It actually took me a long time to get over. It's been maybe like 8 years since I got sick, and it's only in the last like really this year I've started feeling really good again. But the point is, Smash is esports is still sports. You're still using first mental energy, your body's physical energy, your hands are still muscles. Like so, all those things still apply, and like that level of fitness is still going to have a measurable effect on your how good you are. And the truth is, when you're young, people just don't notice because when you're young, you're like Deadpool. Your body just regenerates super fast. But there's eventually a point, like usually in your like mid to late 20s, where the speed at which your body regenerates is not going to be so fast that you're not going to notice. So the point is, if you have a wild night out, or you don't get sleep, or maybe you're old enough to drink and you decide to get drunk, like those kind of things are going to affect you, like for like a much longer period if you're not eating well. So in my case, for example, I have been actively trying to, repair my health for like a long time, and it's only over the course of having certain breakthroughs and like realizing certain stuff about my personal, the way personal foods affect me and like lifestyle things. Those are the things that have made the big difference. But the point is, no matter who you are, it's going to affect you eventually. Just a lot of young people, especially, they don't notice, and it's kind of, you probably heard the term young man reaction time. Like that's not a thing. It's just that most people, as they get older, if they're not making a concerted effort to keep up their health, it's going to come around and affect them. Like there's people like in like in Japan, because their society tends to live a more healthy lifestyle than us. There's people in their 40s, people like Daigo still out here reacting to like, you know, 20 frame normals, because it's doable as long as you take care of yourself.
Okay, okay, So, I guess to continue on that, what's some advice that you'd give like the current like generation, like 16, 17-year-olds like in the scene who are like not realizing at
Concerning
that point. Like health wise.
concerning
Yeah.
health, or
Yeah.
that's easy, right?
Mhm.
First off, I would say, like, look, man, like, there's a couple of facts that I learned that really changed my perspective. The first one is there's microplastics in everything and chemicals in everything, and nothing you do is going to be able to avoid those things. Like, there, so even if you're eating, so here's the deal, like, if you're not eating like your own home cooked organic meals, you're gonna get a ton of that stuff. Even if you do eat home cooked organic whole food meals only, you're still going to get some of that stuff. So the point is, you almost have to do like everything and overcompensate to make sure it doesn't become a problem. Because in my case, for example, if you mess up your health, fixing it is way harder than messing it up. So that would be my advice there. Another funny thing is, like, I eat a lot of, like, home cooked food and stuff. Um, when you look at like the RDA, which is the recommended daily allowance for like nutrients and stuff, there's all this nutrients listed there, like potassium, calcium, and stuff. One of the things about nutrition is, we don't really know the name of every nutrient. We just have the ones we can synthesize. So the point is, like, broccoli doesn't just have calcium in it; it has some shit that makes it broccoli. Can I curse? I apologize. I shouldn't. It
No,
has
you're
some
fine.
stuff
You're
in it
fine.
that's it's outside of just the fact that it's broccoli. So taking a calcium tablet doesn't create that same effect. So I just think, because we don't know how a lot of these things affect us, like microplastics is only becoming a problem, a publicly well-known problem in the last like 20 years. The point is, we have no idea what this is going to look like in 20 years. So just take care of yourself. That's my advice. I'm not saying don't drink. I'm not saying don't eat candy. I'm not saying don't enjoy your life. But I'm saying also make sure you're eating like a good amount of healthy stuff, so your body can at least, keep rolling with the punches. That's my advice. I am not anti-fun. When I was younger, I used to have a lot of fun too. I get it. But I'm just saying, if you don't want to end up like me, that would be my advice.
All right, all right. Very very sane advice. And let's keep going on the advice train. Like now let's switch it over to the game a little bit. What advice would you have for someone who's trying to improve?
Oh, man. Well, first off, I would say, follow me on Twitter and message me for like a coaching session, because I can get you really good. That's the short answer. The long answer, though, is like, anything you know about the game will help you, but there's something called the Pareto principle. It's called the 80, also referred to as 80-20 rule. And frequent use of that is that 20% of the effort is what gets 80% of the results. So the point is, when it comes to getting good at Smash, if you know the 20% of things you need to learn to get the most results, you do those first. And then you start working on the rest of the 80%, because 80% is usually little things. So it's almost like the 20% is like knowing the mechanics, knowing how to move with your character, having decent execution, and like, that kind of stuff. That's gonna get you like the first 20% of the way there. But like the last 80% is like every matchup in the game. Little interactions between like certain things. Like, it's like, you see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So my advice would be to start off with things will get you the most results, which will be like learning B&Bs with your character, so you can actually, close out stocks when you hit people, knowing, make sure you know how to recover. Like, the things that are easiest to learn, not easiest to learn, but things that are just most, things that are like the, when it comes to, well, any concept, there's kind of like a cake, and the cake is the bottom, it's the whitest layer, and like you build stuff on top of that. And like, for example, knowing a little interaction in a matchup, that's like a strawberry all the way at the top. It's like a small part of the cake. It still matters, but it doesn't matter as much as the stuff below it. So learning the stuff at the bottom of the cake, that's the most important thing. So I would say, if you want to get into like any game or Smash, like, first off, make sure you know exactly how the mechanics work, and make sure you know exactly how all your mains stuff works. And then, as you're learning these things, you're still going to be absorbing information about other characters and like matchups. But the point is, one of the easy examples I give, if you don't know how to DI, then every time you play a matchup and you're not DIing, you're almost like missing out on that XP, because you could be fighting someone and like experiencing DI and being like, oh, I DI this move this way and this way, and you could be like playing with that. Whereas if you don't know how to DI in the first place, the experience is worth less. So you see how, if you, the more of the base of the cake you have, the more you can stack on top of it.
Hmm. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's basically how it works. The more solid and bigger the base of the cake is, the more information you can actually stack on top of it in the first place. So
All
that would be
right.
my advice. You make sure you just understand mechanically how does this game work.
All right. Well, like that's all the questions I have for you right now. So, like I actually went through this very fast, That's
Oh
good.
wow,
That's
that's
good for
it. You
me.
made that like really easy.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, like we just want to talk, like we just want to talk, learn a little bit, hopefully like some people will take some stuff away from that, learn, improve like not only their physical health, but hopefully improving the game as well.
Okay, well I actually have a question for you. Tell
All
me a little
right.
about this channel because this is not something I was privy to.
Okay, well, look, so for my goal for this channel is the main thing is I want to talk with esports professionals, like or esports professionals, people that like made it very far, people that have like stuck with it for a long time, and I want to basically like get all of the experience they have out there, and I try to divvy up for topics like special to whatever guest I have on, you know.
Hmm.
And yeah, no, I just want to like have it out there as a resource mainly.
Hmm. Okay, well that's super cool then. I might definitely wish you the best, and obviously thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming on once again. One last time. If you want, like, share your socials. Like, cause you obviously give a lot of advice. Share your socials where people can find you, where people can reach out if they want advice.
Yeah, obviously my Twitter, twitter.com/overlade with a zero. So that's zero, VERLADE. My Discord is the same. Right now, I'm not actually doing uh, lessons of any kind. I'm considering opening up shop pretty soon, though. So I guess, following me would probably be the best way to do that. My twitch.tv, I stream Oblivion. It's a Ultimate Smash Ultimate Tournament, squad strikes and singles every Monday. That's also twitch.tv/overlade with a zero. So my Discord, Twitter, and Twitch are all the same. So you can find me there.
All right, bet. And thank you once again for coming on. And have a good day.
Okay, cool
Peace.
deal.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you all for watching. And see you next week.